It is now confirmed FIFA 23 will be the last game that EA produce under the FIFA name. They will continue to make yearly football games, except after FIFA 23 it will be called EA Sports FC, and I know it's gonna take a bit of time to get used to the new name. But this was a change that's been on the table for quite some time, and in this video I'll be explaining all the leaks and rumors with the next FIFA, plus we'll be looking to the future of this franchise. But before we do get into the video, if you're looking to get some very easy coins for FIFA 22, then there is no better place than Mule Factory. Head over there to get yourself some cheap and fast FIFA coins, completely reliable, and if you use Fnatic5 at checkout, you'll also get yourself a 5% discount. Link can be found in the description down below. Getting back into the video, this has been a talking point for quite a long time, as EA is reportedly spending 150 million per year just for FIFA licensing, and this is just one. EA has another 300 licensing agreements across the world of pro football, and this puts them in a fairly strong position to ditch the FIFA license and still have pretty much all the teams that they currently have within the game, but of course for a fraction of the price. Now, I do want to make it clear that this video is gonna be slightly different. There will of course be gameplay, but we will also be bringing up quite a few different articles and documents which just really highlight the situation that has occurred. So recently, in a statement released on EA's website, the company said it is cutting ties with FIFA and it will rename its series. For anything to do with leagues, players and stadium rights, they will still remain and be part of the game. EA did stress that the same great experiences, modes, leagues, tournaments, clubs and athletes will be there, including Ultimate Team Career Mode, Pro Clubs and Volta Football. Really, once we break it down mechanically, FIFA is still going to be exactly that. It's just going to be a completely different name change from FIFA 24, or what it would have been, to EA Sports FC. And really, gameplay wise, nothing is going to change except for the changes that EA implement for the gameplay mechanics itself. Game modes are still going to be the same, but there will be a bit of confusion within the future, because on FIFA's side of things, they're done with dealing with EA Sports, and it allows them to move on to non-exclusive gaming models, and it's engaging with publishers, studios and investors on the development of a new simulation football title for 2024. Presumably it's gonna be called FIFA 24. This game will have nothing to do with EA. It's gonna be its own standalone thing put together by a completely different game studio. And I fully understand that that may sound a bit confusing, and you are 100% correct, it is. It does mean once we do get to 2024 and the release of FIFA, which won't be designed by EA, but they will have their own game called EA Sports FC, that there may be a few people that end up buying FIFA 24 thinking that it's being developed by EA, but in fact it hasn't. The one that has been developed is EA Sports FC. And this is exactly why EA is announcing these changes now, so that they can keep people aware a year and a half before the release of their game that the name has changed. They will need to have quite a big budget behind this just to market this correctly, especially for the players that do normally play FIFA at the beginning of the year but end up stop playing after a month or so. Those players are still important, and it will lead to quite a bit of confusion right at the beginning. On FIFA's side of things, the FIFA president Gianni Infantino came out fighting. He said, "I can assure you the only authentic real game that has the FIFA name will be the best one available for gamers and football fans." He believes that the FIFA name is the only global original title. FIFA 23, FIFA 24, FIFA 25 and FIFA 26. The constant is FIFA name and will remain forever and remain the best. Now, as someone who started as a game designer before going into YouTube, I find it extremely alarming for FIFA to claim that they have the best game just because of its name. Now, that's not me saying that EA is going about this the right way with what they're producing, but I do think that for you to say that the only reason that your game's going to be good is because of its title, it really needs to be said. Of course, we'll remain judgment for when these games actually release and we can actually see the gameplay. We should also bear in mind on this statement that there was a time which PES was seen better than FIFA. Now, of course, it has been a very long time since those were the days. There was a time during PES 2 to PES 6 where a lot of people were saying that PES was better than FIFA. After PES 6, when we had FIFA 07, this was really when FIFA started to claim the title, and from 2009 onwards, especially when Ultimate Team was released, well, we could just say that PES never even had a chance, despite even trying to copy a very similar formula to FIFA, but just wasn't quite there. Now, with the name change, it may seem like a small thing, but along with the licensing, EA have said that it really opens up the door for them to experiment. Now, everything that we're talking about here is complete speculation and entirely rumors. They did leave it open-ended to say that there's a lot of stuff that they can do within the future, and from there, it's been fans guessing what's going to happen. Some have said that EA may try to link Ultimate Team's NFTs, and them being a money-grabbing company, I would not put that past them. But on the other hand, there were a few leaks a couple months back where it said that Ultimate Team would be turning into a free-to-play game mode. And this would do nothing but benefit the game mode, especially considering how they monetize and make the majority of their money from packs within Ultimate Team. So it will be interesting to see exactly where EA Sports FC goes and what type of path they're going to take. As for content that we're going to see within FIFA 23, EA did confirm that there will be World Cup content. They didn't go into specifics, but of course players are really hoping that it'll be similar to what we had within FIFA 18 and FIFA 14, where we had a completely separate World Cup mode within Ultimate Team. Even if it is exactly the same, it always ends up being fun, and it's a nice change up to the system. This game mode is pretty much Ultimate Team, except there's no transfer market. The only way for you to get players is to get them in packs. You get packs by using coins or FIFA points within the store, or you can play matches. At the end of every match that you play, you will be rewarded with some kind of pack. If you win the game, it's going to be better than if you lose the game. And because there is a limited amount of players within this game mode, as it is only players going to the World Cup, it naturally brings in a challenge where you try to claim every single player and have them within your club. So for me, I would definitely like to see this game mode return. There was also talks of FIFA 23 having cross-platform, which we did mention a few months back. The idea is that all platforms will have one single market, and you'll be able to play with other players no matter what console they're playing on. This is definitely a change that I would invite, especially when you go and look at those that are playing on PC. They really suffer. It becomes 10 times harder for them to trade with the PC transfer market because of the limited amount of players. Everyone is a lot more expensive and they're not as common. Gameplay can also suffer depending on your location within the world and the platform that you play on, especially during this time where there's a lot less players playing, that you end up playing the exact same people over and over again. And since we first covered this leak a few months back, EA has since updated FIFA 22 to support cross-platform for certain game modes. At this point, it's fair to say that EA are currently running tests, and if those tests are successful, we could potentially see cross-platform within FIFA 23, which would then also include Ultimate Team. Now, of course, I'm fully up for cross-platform to happen, but there are a few fears from some of the players. If there is a broken market, something similar to what we had in FIFA 15, with 3 separate markets, you could have one go down, but the other 2 being perfectly fine. But if everything is on one market, the second something bad happens, let's say an exploit, and there becomes a huge amount of illegitimate coins onto the transfer market, it now affects everyone, with player prices potentially shooting right up. And of course, there are a few people that are scared of there being different types of PC mods. They tend to look over at Warzone, see all the different anti-cheats that they were promised, only to realize that hackers have found a way around it, and it's incredibly easy. And now pretty much every game that you go through, you will encounter a hacker. But with all of this, we just gotta wait and see and hope for the best. At the time of recording this video, we are going through FIFA 22 Team of the Season, and once we get towards the end of this is when EA starts to announce FIFA 23, and they will reveal all the gameplay features. But as of for now, This is all the changes that will be coming to the future of FIFA and EA Sports FC. Gotta say that as much as possible just so I can get used to it, and all the leaks and rumors that have come up for FIFA 23, which should be releasing later this year. If you do have any questions about anything, then please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see you.